As long as I could remember, I've been torn between these two desires.
They say money can't buy happiness.
And I've always kind of felt like these two desires contradicted each other, that I had to choose one or the other. And so what I'm sitting with is it even possible to find a balance? Can these two desires actually coexist? So we're just going to record in the car today. I wanted to create this video, at least to my younger self. I wanted him to know, like, you're not alone in the fact that this is a very difficult balance to strike. The deeper you start to go on that path of becoming curious of yourself, wanting to do the inner work, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. The deeper you go, the more you realize, oh, there's layers to this, and there's layers, and like, it's very easy for me to want to just like invest all my time in what I would call spiritual development, personal development. I really don't like these words. Essentially, it's the desire to want to live a spirit-filled life. It's wanting to connect deeply to one's own heart. It's wanting to connect with the younger versions of ourselves that have been kind of shoved away and wanting to bring those back online, and that often requires healing. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about the spiritual path. But again, the question is, where do we find that balance? Because I can't just focus all my time and attention on reading books and meditating and journaling, as much as that fills me up and makes me feel alive and whole. If all I did was that, I would eventually be homeless. Just like doing the spiritual work can become this, like, the deeper you go, the more you want to do. It's the same for me as like with creating and with building. There's always more to be done. So the more videos I create, the more ideas I have, and the more I could do, and the more I could do, and the more I could do. And eventually I could be doing so much that I completely lose touch with that other part of myself. So you have like the spiritual path, and then you have like the material of the world path. Maybe the problem isn't the fact that I need to pick one or the other or figure out how to balance the one or the other. Maybe the problem I'm having is the fact that I compartmentalize the two as different things. What this might look like is, yes, continuing to deepen into the path of self-inquiry, self-awareness, personal healing, personal growth, because without that, I strongly believe that everything we do in the world is coming from a place of not knowing ourselves. If I'm not careful, if I don't do any inner work, everything I do in the outside world is a reflection of my lack of self-awareness, my lack of understanding of myself. If all I'm doing is reaching outside of myself in the world, who's to say that everything I do isn't coming from a place of wounding and like overcompensating for this or overcompensating for that? But on the flip side of that, if we do the work internally and learn to understand ourselves and continue peeling back the layers of who are we really and what do I really want, we begin to act with a little bit more of like a clear barometer of what's right for us. And we're not just going out into the world of endless possibility, living in the mind of, should I do this or that or this or that? And what am I doing wrong? And maybe I can do this to overcompensate. When we go inward first, if we then go out into our lives with a sense of gnosis, of like, that's for me, that's not for me. This is for me, that's not for me. This is who I am, this is who I'm not. And still potentially working hard. Children, the purest beings, they work hard at their fun little projects just out of passion and love, but not from a place of, I need to do this to get validation, or I need to do this so that I'm okay. So maybe when we do the spiritual work, we then basically clear the lens so that we're able to go out into the world with a clearer sense of what's right for us. We're then able to pursue that with intensity and passion and excitement and playfulness, and all of that energy is now coming from a cleaner place. What I'm walking away with, and what I would tell my younger self that really grappled with this question of, do I pursue like this spiritual path, or do I pursue the material path of making money and being successful? And what if they were not different? What if they were the same thing? What if, yes, one must be done before the other, in terms of like, for me, the connection to the heart and quieting of the mind and doing the inner work, that is almost like the first step. Taking that energy and asking it, how do you now want to manifest in the material world? What do we want to create from this place of groundedness, from this place of self-understanding? Now what can I go do in the real world that isn't separate from, but is an extension of this? What we do in the real world, in a way, is like our fingerprint of what we feel internally. Our outer world reflects our inner world. So thanks for being in my car with me. Me and Wolf are gonna go to the bookstore now. Okay, bye.